Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Siri here, and today we will be talking about Firion, Tifa and Xande, which will be the 3 remaining members that will be getting their reward, as well as their EX extension alongside Locke's BT banner. So we're going to start with Firion. Since there's a lot of variation of Firion's kit, I'm just going to talk about the strongest version, which is the plus version of his kit with the blood weapon buff active, which will only activate when the HP of Firion is higher than 50%, and it's not really hard to maintain Firion HP because he heals in most of his kit. So Firion skill 1 now has 2 more additional usage, and it became a 4 single target bravery plus HP attack dealt by 2 times with a 50% splash. His skill 2 also got a rework. It became a 3 single target bravery plus HP attack dealt by 3 times with also a 50% splash. So basically, if you compare the 2 attacks, one with more bravery and one with more HP attack. Not surprisingly, Firion is also one of the few units that still doesn't have an LD board right now in global. His LD board now grants him a 4 AoE bravery plus split HP attack dealt by 4 times in his LD attack, and it also grants him the blood weapons buff on himself for 6 turns, which increased his bravery at damage up by 40% and 20% HP damage up. It also improved his trap attack, which now becomes a 2 single target bravery plus HP attack dealt by 2 times. So essentially, Firion is going to hit harder with his trap attack, and that is where his real damage lies in. His EX also get the extension, which in this case becomes a 4 AoE bravery attack plus split HP attack dealt by 2 times, and improve his hot blooded buff, which now provides a 40% initial bravery up, as well as a new bravery regen based on 40% of his initial bravery. He also get of course the additional ability upgrade, which now deals a 4 hit single target bravery plus HP attack and extend his buff to 6 turns, which now provides 20% self attack up and 20% self gain max bravery overflow up. So one of the better thing about Firion is his BT plus. When the party is at 100% HP, they will have a 70% max bravery up, bravery regen based on 200% of their initial bravery, as well as refunding 70% of their bravery based on the HP damage dealt. He's essentially like Bart's, where he's gonna keep the bravery of the party as high as possible, since 70% refund based on the amount of HP damage dealt is actually quite a big amount and would normally fully refute all your maximum bravery. And it also increased the maximum bravery up, so you can actually sustain more bravery in this situation. The only problem with Firion's BT effect is it doesn't increase any bravery damage up, nor does he increase any HP damage up. So in his situation, he's very reliant on battering the entire party rather than buffing their attack up. So in my opinion, Firion would actually work really well, of course, with his off-turn utility kit. He will go really well with units that relies on the enemy getting turns. For example, even Core can work really well because of how defensive both of their kit is. Can also go really well with any tankers such as Galuf, Gladiolus, Oren. Among the current release Crystal level 90 characters, I think the only one that goes really well with Firion's off-turn damage is Vanille, since Vanille also has that very good trap attack from her EX extension. You wouldn't want to pair Firion with units that don't allow the enemy to get turns, because that's where Firion's damage lies in. I think most of the Final Fantasy II units has traps in their utility, so they relies on the enemy getting turns instead of turn hoggings or the turn or manipulate the enemy so that they won't get any turns. For my case though, since I will not be greening Firion in my main account, I will be greening him in my alternate account. So I think that pairing him with Lloyds might make an interesting combo, considering the fact that Lloyds provide the aura that Firion doesn't provide to the party, and as a unit that sacrificed his own HP a lot, Lloyds doesn't have any bravery refunds on his kit. So it's actually really good to pair him up with Firion that actually can provide him more survivability while dealing his HP attack. So yes, I'll be looking forward to running those two together and see how it goes. So moving on, we will be getting Tifa and Xande's EX extension as well. Sadly though, this two doesn't get any rework in their base kit. I can see why for Tifa, because she already has a lot of HP dumps in her attack, but I don't see the reason why Xande wouldn't get all those good reworks in his base kit, because they're kind of just there to refill his EX so that he can cast the EX again. And for Xande's case, the weird part is it doesn't increase any of the amount of HP dumps he has with his EX extension. It's still only 3 HP attack, but outside the potency increase, the only differences Xande's EX get is he now deals a 20% splash on every of his HP attack, and using his EX now grants him 20% recast speed up. He also get an upgrade on his Paw of Darkness buff, which is his EX buff. It now increases his attack up by 30%, and at maximum stacks, which is 5 stacks, it can go up to 30% HP damage up. Do note that right now with his EX extension, it grants Xande 1 stack of this EX buff for 8 turns at the quest start, which is a better upgrade for him to get to 5 stacks at least. His additional ability now extends his buff to 6 turns, and of course provides a 30% self-brave damage up and a 40% self-brave damage cap up. So yes, Xande is still a very selfish damage dealer that enchants the entire party with Dark Elemental attack and imperil the enemy. But unless he's a favorite, I wouldn't recommend going for him because he doesn't have too much utility in his kit besides the Elemental enchant. His HP attack is also not the most devastating attack, which doesn't really solidify him as a very good damage dealer. I mean, he's not that bad, but he's just, when you compare him with other Crystal level 90, he just felt underwhelming. The same can be applied to Tifa, sadly. Her EX now becomes a 3 single target bravery and HP attack dealt by 4 times, followed by a 4 single target bravery plus HP attack dealt by 2 times. So for her EX, there is a lot of HP dumps. The only good thing about this is her EX is no longer a filler. You no longer click it just for the sake of her getting more longevity and her maintaining her buff. But do know that just increasing her EX means that she doesn't get any other upgrades in her skill 1 and skill 2. She's still quite good only because of the fact that her first initial LD release was a lot broken. So this actually brought her back to balance level, but I won't say that she'll be too game changing as she was before. She also get an additional ability upgrade which extends the buff to 4 turns and of course provides a 25% self attack up and a 40% self-brave damage cap up. But other than that, Tifa doesn't get anything else. So yes, sadly for our waifu, we need to wait for the for her BT Plus, which will be confirmed in these few days in JP hopefully, because she and Rinoa are the only 2 units that have confirmed BT Plus that haven't been released yet, and hopefully we can see them a lot earlier before they announce the new batch of BT Plus users. So for Xande and Tifa, they are your typical damage dealer, so you can just pair them with support to maintain their survivability and to provide them the maximum damage. But they're not the hardest unit to pair them with. Tifa does have a lot of free turns in her kit, and as usual, you can pair her with Selfie, in my opinion, because of how Selfie's debuff work right now prior to a Crystal level 90. For those who doesn't know, Selfie's LD debuff actually decrease on both target even though you only launch one specific unit if you use a group HP attack or a group bravery attack. So for Tifa's case, since most of her kit is single target, she can maintain the debuff on one target one at a time. So in that case, she can fully utilize Selfie's launch. So I think they pair really well together, especially with the fact that Tifa now has a better launch attack, which is her EX. So Selfie's HP damage up can benefit Tifa a little bit more in that situation. So yes, that's a little short update on these 3 units. Surprisingly, the amount of time I spent on Locke's video is actually a lot longer than the amount of time I spent on these 3 units. But Firion does get more HP attack in all of his kit, and that's a very sweet upgrade on his BT Plus. But Tifa and Xande doesn't get too much, like I said, upgrade other than their EX extension. So that's that. So let me know what you guys think about these 3 units. Are they part of your favorite? I actually have Tifa in my JP account initially because I thought having her in the party would actually help me a lot in farming summoning boards. but it turns out I actually in the end used BT users, since just one BT plus attack could completely annihilate the enemy. So I don't think having Tifa around in this current era would make anything faster than she was before during her LD release. She's not as broken as she was before, so you don't have to really pull for her if you haven't get her before. Might as well wait for her FR and her BT plus. Alright guys, so thank you again for watching. Like I mentioned, I will be skipping all 3 of these units since I got all 3 of them already. I will be only pulling for Locke in my main account, and I will be going for Firion in my alternate account. Other than that, I won't be chasing any of the other unit here. So let me know what you guys think about these 3 units. And I'll see you guys in the next video, where I'll be talking about Squall and Cloud's possible BT plus release alongside Lightning's BT plus. Looking forward to that. Cheers guys.